Uh, Dear Subal Babu, my senior classmate Shibu Babu, and my dear friends, it is a great pleasure for me to speak on a very important and a burning topic, which is very much relevant today for each section of the society. The most important thing is that today nation is undergoing election in 7 phases election. It is in midway. So discussing our responsibility on election is a very important thing. I am also thankful to all those who are watching this program, as well as those who are organizing this program or part of this research institute, because in today's arena, reading habit has declined, intellectual pursuit has been eroded, critical thinking is decimated, independent thinking is losing its value. So in this time, discussing on such important topic is very, very crucial and important. Once again, I thanks the organization. And another thing is that this organization is belong to Sambalpur. I am associated with Sambalpur more because I had education 4 years in GM College Sambalpur. Now it is university. I had a intermediate of science from 82 to 84, then 84 to 86 I have read economics honors GM College, and particularly I was also the secretary of a debating society that is known as the Quest. I have also become the chess champion of the GM College during my graduation. So I am very much attachment towards Sambalpur. So more attachment since you are organizing this meeting, online meeting from Sambalpur. Once again, I thanks. Now coming to the topic, the ongoing election and our responsibility. You might be thinking, I will tell to give vote to any party or not to give any party. No. To give a vote or to cast vote to any person or any party is purely private affairs. It is a democratic rights. As a writers, I do not have a right to tell directly to any person to cast vote to any person or any party. But we can tell what is the situation of a country, what is our responsibility, how the nation is moving, how the democracy is under threat, how the freedom of expression is under threat, why it is under threat, what are the changes has happened since 2014, how democratic values is eroded, how hunger, poverty, starvation are rampant, but it is not discussed, and everything is telling to do so. If we are elected, we will bring everything for society, we will cure everything, and they are telling in such a way that they were not never in power. They were in power, but they are now promising many things. What is the important thing is that whatever they promising or whatever they do, politicians do for country, they do not spend money from their own pocket or on the party's fund. They spend money from collected by way of taxation or a debt or a non-tax revenue from people. What we pay in form of tax is spent. So any ruling class has no right to claim that this is my money, this is our money, we are giving so much to people, we are giving so much to states. That is quite wrong, because the money is collected from the people's taxpayers, and as per our finance commission recommendation, money collected by center has to be shared with the state, so they should not claim. What is important thing is that when we are election is undergoing, what is our responsibility? Recently, Chief Justice Chandrachud has told that it is our democratic rights. Our constitution provides multiple rights. One of them is the power to give votes or exercise our right to franchise. That means we should elect our elect people's representatives or legislator for our assembly and Lok Sabha. This is one of the democratic fundamental rights, and he has told that we should not ignore this right. Yes, I am also, I support his views. But what has become problem today is that democracy is not only under threat. Democracy cannot be confined only to casting votes. Democracy is a bigger subject. Democracy must enable one to think freely, give views independently, one have a critical thinking, one must have power to criticize a government or any politician or anybody. There should be, one must have a right to have a decent life, meaningful life. One must have a right to dissent on functioning of a government. Media should have 100% liberty, but those are now eroded. Those are now exterminated. So democracy is gradually confining to casting votes. Yes, okay, let us accept it. But problem is with the people is that, problem with voter is that people have a limited choice. That's the most detrimental things that is going to affect our democracy. Those who are contesting election, either most of, not all, we cannot tell that all are bad, or politics is bad, or participating democracy is bad, or contesting election is bad. We cannot as a whole say, because to survival of democracy, voting is necessary, people have to contest. But what is the problem today? Election has become a risk games. Election has become a money games. Election has become a criminal's power. Good, honest people are not contesting election. If they contest election, they will be thrown away, and they will may be killed. That may happen. And even good people who contest election, many good people do not like to contest election because that they are not interested. Who does not like to be a MLA MP? If say people having crores of money are interested, why others will intellectually will not like? The problem is that when you contest election, if you contest as an independent candidate, you are less likely to win. People give votes, before giving votes, people see the possibility of winning. So if they see that this candidate is not belong to a big party, has a less chance to win the election, even if the candidate is good, they will not vote. That's the biggest problem in our democracy. Second thing, if good people contest election, it is difficult to get a ticket, because if you have not enormous followers, or you have not huge money, you may not get ticket. First thing. Second thing, if you get a ticket to contest election, you have to always speak in line with the party you have joined. You have to defend the failure, misdeeds of a party. and other political leaders of your party. That is why many good peoples, honest peoples, capable peoples, knowledgeable peoples are away from active policies. They don't want contest. When Rajya Sabha was created, the very purpose of Rajya Sabha was that to nominate or elect the creative people, intellectual, poet, film stars, those scientists, those who are creative people. The generally creative people don't have much time to mix with the society. Each and every people as politician mix. If they will mix with the people and spend entire time, they cannot be scientists, they cannot be writers, they cannot be film stars, they don't have time. So society cannot develop, society cannot flourish. Whatever scientific miracle we see, whatever discovery, invention see, whatever newspaper articles, books, those we see, they are created by creative peoples, because they spare a lot of times for this purpose. They sacrifice their life, pleasure, leisure, and everything. So that is why Vidhan Parishad in some states and Rajya Sabha was created to nominate them or to elect them. But what has happened? Rich and criminals peoples and those who are losing election in Lok Sabha, they are elected or nominated to Rajya Sabha. That is why Rajya Sabha there is no pro people also. So voice of voiceless is getting decimated in parliament. What reports say, Association of Democratic Reforms, as well as election was, they always produce report on the self-affidavit of legislators or those who are contesting elections about their criminal background, about their assets, about their property, all these things. Then we should think who are going to, who are elected to the parliament. According to their report, around 776 MP, both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha, they have given statistics around 763. Let us see. They found that from the self affidavit of the candidate MP, not generally they do not mention the amount of wealth they have. They mention what is recorded and a certain percentage. From this, it was found that average asset of MP is more than 38 crores. Even Rajya Sabha, in case of if you will take the Rajya Sabha, it will be around 55 crores. And 40% of MP have criminal background. 20 to 25% MP have serious criminal backgrounds. Then we must think where is democracy is heading for. And this Association of Democratic Reforms has also pointed out that person having criminal background have more chances of winning the election. Similarly, many research have been made, and it is found that those who are having more wealth, they have more chances of winning the election. And they are also winning. And most important thing is that if people with rich people and people having more criminal background have a better chance of going to the parliament, when they will form rule regulation, that cannot be pro people, that cannot be pro poor. That is a great threat to the survival of our fledgling democracy. Democracy is gradually becoming oligarchy. Democracy is ruled by only few persons today. though there are a huge number of MP, practically power lies with 3-4% only. They decide, determine the fate of a nation, people, and they dictate other legislators to obey their instruction. So democracy has become today is a oligarchy, and democracy becomes mobocracy when people are illiterate. We cannot say Indian voters are illiterate. Indian voters, we cannot say that Indian voters are not judicious. But Indian voters are affected by emotions. Indian voters are affected by religious sentiments. Even voters of America are not impartial. That is the dangerous things. In society, we see many persons acquiring much high position. One becoming a great IIT product or IIM product, or becoming a IAS or a civil servant or a top position is one aspect of life. We can say they are very much intelligent, brilliant. But we cannot say that they have independent and critical thinking. They have analytical ability. Very few persons of the society have independent and a critical thinking, analytical mind. Had it not been so, many top people have been deceived by chin fund scam. You see who are defrauded in chin fund scam. Many top peoples of the society is not only illiterate. So that is the biggest problem. People are not thinking independently and critical thinking of great people, those who are highly qualified, rich. Religious sentiments, emotions are affecting. That is why today ruling class are not talking about poverty, hunger, starvation, unemployment. They are talking about religion. They are talking about how to evoke the emotion of the people, which has nothing to with the decent life of the society. Religion is a completely private affair. No politician, no legislator, no bureaucrat should show publicly his inclination into any religion, because India is a secular country. As I am a Hindu, I also practice all religious. All religions, my religion is Hinduism. All rituals, all customs in Hinduism I practice. I also visit temples. I also pay obeisance to image of the gods. But it is a private affair. I do not post in my Facebook when I visit temples. I do not show the people how I respect my parents or how I respect seniors. All those are private affairs. But today the ruling class has created a hatred against other religious people. India is a secular country where all religious people have equal right. Our constitution provides, if there will be riot between any two religions, the administrator for locality must intervene and should not support any religions. It is totally private affairs, whether there will be temple, there will be churches, there will be mosques, all those things should be left to those peoples. Government should be kept away. As a Hindu, I want that Hinduism should grow. Many people should embrace Hinduism. But what is important, that Hinduism is famous because of its tolerance. we must understand. When there was an attack on Hinduism, when the Muslims and the British were ruling us, there was an attack on Hinduism, there was an attack on temple. But at that time, Hinduism has survived all the problems there. But today, when there is no problem, there is no threat to Hinduism, it is utilized for voters, voting pattern. Another thing is that you cannot ask for votes in the name of a religion and temples and anything. You can ask for a vote for the development you have done. You can ask what decent life you have given. What is most distressing and dejecting and depressing thing is that development has been redefined by politicians. What is development, what is economic growth, what is progress, what is decent life would be defined by the economist. It must be evaluated based on the statistics. But politicians are today, every politician are talking about the development, but I doubt how many of them know what is development. Before coming to the topic of development, I want to say certain things about our democracy. As a conscious citizen of a country, the most survival of a democracy is depend upon how opposition is strong. Never in the past opposition was targeted. In every time a government is targeted because a government is elected to perform. Those who are vanquished, they sit in the opposition seat. Never media has targeted opposition because they are in the opposition because they have lost. We have elected a government because it is perform. They have to channelize our money for the productive purpose, for the development of nation. But they are cutting the corporate tax. They are giving the more concession to the richer section of the society. They are taking more money from the poorer section of the society as a burden of tax is falling on the poor through indirect tax like GST and excise tax. Because indirect tax taxes the rich and poor at the same rate. When rich purchase any commodity or services or goods, he pays the same tax what a beggar pays. So beggar is paying more indirect tax as percentage of income in comparison to Tata, Andani, and Ambani or richer section of society. So burden of taxation is falling on the poor, so it is a very dangerous thing. The democracy is sliding because India is considered as a flawed democracy. I am not telling this. The Economist, the magazine of the London, it has told that India is considered as one of the flawed democracy. It is ranked around 42, that means behind 41 countries. There is a little bit change in today. Another index is varieties of democracy, Sweden-based institute. It told that India was a partial democracy. It was a free democracy. Then in 2021, it has slided to partial democracy. Then now it has been degraded to autocracy. There is a growing despotism, autocratization. That is the most dangerous thing. The most important thing is the fourth pillar of the democracy. Executive, judiciary, press, or media, legislator, all are four important. but they have lost independence. The greatest true threat today is the freedom of our media. In the last 22 years of my writings, I have never seen the way media is speaking in favor of the ruling class. I am not telling that a ruling class has nothing positive. I am not a negative person. Ruling class, whether a center or a state, they have also positive contribution. But what media should target? Media is a vaccine against the information, disinformation, half-truth. Media should expose the mistreatment of the powerful rich. Media should tell where government is failing. Media should tell where freedom of expression is caught. Media should ask the question to the powerful rich. Whoever forms government, in our center the budget size is more than 45 lakh crores. But as percentage of GDP, it is around 17%. But in other countries, it is 50%, 40%, 35%. So whoever, if there will be no government, budget size, revenue will be collected, budget size will increase in a nominal term. Inflation will automatically lead to the rise of budget size. So whoever forms government, they will have some schemes, they will have some new schemes, they will divert from certain section to certain section. That means when they will spend our money, today what ruling class wants, the money, the taxpayers' money, if they spend 1 rupee, they want it should be publicized they have contributed. No. When any patient goes to doctor, suppose he has a kidney problem. Doctor says that you have a kidney problem. And other your heart is okay, your eyes is okay, your leg is okay, your brain is okay. But you have a kidney problems. Then patient will think that I have everything is okay, why shall I worry? Or he will address the kidney disease. Similarly, I am not telling that everything is only problem, there is not positive things. There is only despondency, despair. No, there are also many good things. But as a critics, as a writers, as a columnist, as a media personality, as a opposition, you have to show where the government is failing. The point when you tell that the government is failing in their area, that means in other aspect they are doing well. Today, investigating journalism almost drowned, almost extinct. In past, when somebody was telling, when exposing the mistreatment of a rich and powerful, sometimes they had chance to being killed. But in past, there was never, if you write an articles or speak in the media about government policy, you have been respected by both opposition and ruling class. This was considered as an intellectual academic exercise. But today, hatred is created those who find faults with the ruling class. They are expecting the intellectual to media to speak only in favor of the ruling class. Academic exercise, academic freedom is totally has been lost. In educational institution, people there are inviting the persons who will speak in favor of the ruling class. If you are likely to speak or criticize the government, you are less likely to invite the televisions or educational institution or various institution. I am not telling that if I will be made Prime Minister, I will be elected, I will solve all the problems. No. Problem is huge. There is no shortcut with the problems. It is not easy to solve. When we are struggling to solve the problems of our family or our society in a small form, it is not easy to solve the problem of any country. But what I criticize the ruling dispensations, because they do not admit the problem. They only resort to publicity, blitzkrieg. They resort to publicity and self-aggrandizement. They do not admit that there is a certain weakness, there is a poverty, hunger, starvation. They do not admit. Unless a patient is admit his weak disease before the doctor, how doctor can prescribe? There is when you criticize or expose the failure of ruling class for the sake of the society, for the sake of the vulnerable section of the society, you are considered as a negative person. Somebody will tell you, go to the Pakistan. Somebody will tell you are anti-national, anti-Hindu. Somebody will create hatred against you. That means democracy has become, has reached in such a position. It has gradually confined to casting vote. So we must think our responsibility today. Next thing is that how we can define development. Why we need to define development, growth, economic aspect? Because when we will choose, then we can analyze what they have contributed to society. Because I cannot tell you to whom you give vote, because this will be against the fundamental right, or this is not also right things. Particularly, first you should know that we need a strong opposition. Today there is a publicity in the name of stability. People are appealed to create a stability, so cast vote they are only in favor of a ruling class or who has more chances of winning the election. This is wrong. There have been so research that says that political stability doesn't mean the policy will be pro-people. Strong a government having more legislator may become more pro-rich and more pro-corporate. It may try to pursue policy in favor of the richer section of the society. Our system is rigged in favor of the rich. Our world system is rigged in favor of the rich. We have a tax haven in more than 142 countries, where rich politicians, corrupt people, celebrities keep their black money. Their identity is kept secret. They do not pay tax if they pay low tax. Why this is created? And since the Reagan economics, trickle-down theory, Thatcherism, there is no alternative to capitalism and privatization, who advocate privatization. Corporate tax cut, higher income tax level is reduced, burden is falling on the poorer section of society through indirect tax, which is regressive. So in the entire world system is rigged in favor of the rich. Our corporate, not only in India, the multinational companies, the big investors, the finance capital, those who invest in the stock market, they control the ruling class. They control the government in everywhere in the world. They do not allow the government to function freely or decide a pro-people policy. They demand the privatization, they demand the tax reduction, they demand the concession. So whoever rules, it is not easy to form a rule regulation in favor of the poorer section of the society. So if he, in the name of stability, opposition is weakened, then those who will be elected with a huge margin, with a massive margin, they are likely to form a rule regulation in favor of the rich corporates. In the last 5 years, you have seen the corporate tax was reduced. Once upon a time, tax generated by way of a corporate tax was twice the tax generated by way of a personal income tax. Now tax generated by corporate tax is less than personal tax. In the last 10 years, 14.5 lakh crores bank loan has been written up. Only 15% have recovered. Yes, it can be recovered, but it is usually not recovered. Then when it's out of 85% of 14.5 lakh crores, where it has gone, who are beneficiary, why they are fleeing, leaving our country. That means opposition act as a strong brake. A vehicle, whatever strong may be, a driver, whatever strong may be, if brake is weak, then a vehicle will be will be out of control. It may kill others. So, in a democracy, I am not telling to whom you vote. I am telling that you must strengthen the opposition for the survival of a democracy. You must demand that I have a freedom to expression. If you want to praise a government, you have a right to praise government, no problem. But if I want to criticize government or point out the failures of government because for the interest of the poorer section of the society, for survival of democracy, I must have a right to speak. But that is not happening. That must be a problem today. You can praise, appreciate the ruling class, and you can get elevated to a higher position. You can get various awards. You can be elected to different top position. But when you speak for the poorer section of the society, then you face the problem. When you face the problem while talking the poorer section of society, or to strengthen the democracy, freedom of right, or constitutional value, and you are put into trouble, you are harassed, or you are branded as anti-national, then who will come forward? Will our democracy survive? Will government policy will be pro-people? No. You may question also. Say, we have so many plannings, so many pro-people schemes. How you are telling that there is no pro-people schemes? You may raise this question, but think in your deeply. Your tax, GDP ratio, everything, your salary, your income, your price, your budget size, your taxation, everything increases in nominal term or absolute value because of inflation. There was a time when I was reading in school, 1 kg mutton was costing 5 rupees. Today it is around 700 to 800 rupees. What is the cost of building a house 10 years ago? Now what is the cost of building a house today? So everything increases in nominal term. Our politicians, in order to deceive, hoodwink us, they tell that we are increased so much, we have giving so much, we are giving state so much, we are spending so much. No. This should be analyzed taking into inflation into account. Nominal value minus inflation rate and the GDP deflator is the real value. Or it can be described as the percentage of a GDP because GDP is growing in nominal term and real term. So it is nothing is evaluated in absolute term. Everything increases in absolute term. What you can purchase by paying 1,000 rupees today, same thing will cost more than 1,000 after 1 year. So in nominal form, everything is increasing. So our tax GDP ratio, both state and center, center is 11.7%, and including state, it is around 17 to 18% of GDP. It is remaining constant for the last 10 years. And our budget expenditure as percent of GDP is around 13 to 15%. Tax GDP ratio in other countries, in OECD countries, it is 34%, when our 17-18%. Some countries is 40-50%. That means when tax is not generated, budget size as percentage of GDP is not increased, then how you are spending more? You are spending more in nominal term, not real term, as a percentage of GDP. What is important? They are creating some new schemes. They are floating some pro-people scheme also. I am not telling that they are not floating some pro-people scheme. But the problem is that when they are floating some pro-people schemes, money spent for these schemes should be taken away from the richer section of the society. But unfortunately, this money is taken from the same poorer section of the society by indirect tax, by taxing the petroleum products, which is for inflation. Inflation is an indirect compulsory tax which affect the poorer section of the society. So real wage of agricultural laborer, our laborer is declining actually if you take the inflation. There are many good schemes I am not telling, but genuine standard of living in comparison to people is not increasing. Other countries is not increasing. There is a publicity. What is another thing is that what is important in a few days back, probably yesterday, I have written 2 articles. One is articles about health and education. I want to tell why you are resorting to such publicity. You tell that you want to spend more, you should provide free health and education. Because today, if you do not have money, you cannot enter a corporate hospital. If you do not have money, you cannot read medical in a private college. If you do not have money, you cannot read a private engineering college. That means you are deprived of education because you don't have money, even if you have a talent. If you do not have a money, you cannot go to a hospital. Government hospital is so rush and the shortage of doctor, it is difficult to take a treatment. And many diseases cannot be treated. In rural area, in distance area, we do not have a health facility. So our demand should be, whatever scheme you float, it is okay, all right. But provide free health education, provide education and health free. Why I am telling this? For example, when you grow, you will have a children. You will feel that if education and health is free, then your children will not face problem. There will be no discrimination towards health and education facilities because you do not have a wealth. What is important? Our Kothari Commission has recommended that spending of government education should be 6% of GDP. And it is both state and central is 2.9%. In the health, it should be 2.5%. But it is around 1.3%. Government says 2.1%. It is actually 1.3%, one of the lowest in the world as percentage of GDP. Our health sector is most privatized today. People are dragged into poverty because of health expenditure. Government talks of GDP. Yes, our GDP is growing. We should feel happy. I am not telling you should feel unhappy. But who are beneficiary of the GDP growth? 1% of the India is the most unequal country in the world. 1% of the population own more than 40% of national wealth. 1% Indians own more than 22.6% of national income. That means when GDP is growing, benefit of growth is cornered by the certain section of the society. We have 140 crores people. From these 40 crores people may have a prosperity, but what about 100 crores people? New channel do not show the problems of these 100 crores people. New channel shows how you are enjoying in the Balijatra. New channel do not show how the patients are suffering in the medical and hospitals. They do not show the poverty, hunger, starvation, unemployment. In India, 104 crores people are deprived of a healthy diet. That we must understand. Unemployment is very high. Yet more you are educated, more you are likely to be unemployed. Government has promised 2 crore employment. I am not telling everybody should have a government job or job in the organized sector. But job in the organized sector create a job in the unorganized sector. Any job in the organized sector necessitate demand for this job. If you have a job, you can appoint a driver. You can purchase a TV, fridge, build a house which can create job. When you appoint a maid servant or appointed driver, then you also create a job. So job in the organized sector cannot be ignored. Job, those who are highly qualified, they also need job. Somebody tells that you sell some things and it is also create jobs. No. You also, whatever business you do, you need also buyer. If everybody will sell any commodity, then who will buy? So purchasing power of the people should be increased. So that is why their government policy should be to enhance the purchasing power of people, provide health education free, and create more job in the organized sector. Unfortunately, in the last 5 years, till today, 30 lakhs crores are remaining vacant if we consider center and states. Then when you are not able to fulfill the vacancies, then what more job you will create? Many speaks, corporate are creating job. No. Corporate are creating jobs, equally they are destroying a job in somewhere in public sector or in some other private sector. So in totality, jobs should in organized sector should increase. Then aspiration, ambition of the educated youth will be decimated. I am not telling that all can be provided job or all should try only government or public sector or organized sector job, but job should be increased. Elastic growth, our growth is today jobless and jobless growth. Youth growth of GDP does not increase the jobs. And what is the important thing? In terms of per capita income, when India is considered one of the fastest growing country, once upon a time our GDP was the same as China. Today our China's GDP is 5 times more than Indian GDP. Since 2011, we are the third largest economy in terms of purchasing power, which is the correct measure of economic growth. It is immaterial whether India becomes number 1 or number 3 or a 5 trillion or 50 trillion economy, unless people have a decent life, people have a free health education, people have a job, people have a qualitative life. Today, in per capita income, India occupies a 142 position, that means 100 behind 141 countries. Our debt has increased from 55 crores in 2014 to around 205 crores. As percentage of GDP, it has also increased. Our financial savings is one of the lowest now, and it has decelerated to 5.1%, which is 43 years low. That must understand. In all index, when the government is talking about development, in the Human Development Index, is Hunger Index, is the Sustainable Development Index. In all index, India occupies a abysmal position. You can see in Google, I am not giving statistics. In Press Index, out of 182 countries, India occupies 159 position. That is the important thing you must understand. So, what should be our responsibility today? Whichever political party you see now today, everybody is changing party when they are not getting ticket. Even in your constituency, you will find the candidate who have changed their party. Then whom you will vote? You have to vote. You have to see who is a good candidate, who can help you, who is pro people, who can think of the society. One thing. Second thing, you have to see what is the policy of this political party. You have to see who is the lesser evil. If you have not the best person at your disposal, you must see who is the lesser evil. Most important thing is that you must strengthen also opposition. You need a strong break survival of a democracy. Somebody should speak for you, and you have to change the trend is going on. Politicians should meet press. Politicians should address the question of people. Politicians should not resort to save publicity. We respect Lord Ram. Lord Ram was moving in night in disguise to know the problem of sufferings and taking decision. Mahatma Gandhi has told, while you are taking a decision or adopting a policy, you should see how this policy is going to the benefit the poorer section of the society or those most vulnerable section of the society. If your policy helps the 40 crores of people and do not help the 100 crores of people, then you should not tell that your policy is good. When you compare, you should not tell what you have achieved. You should tell what you have not achieved. When you are appearing examination, do you get satisfied when you secure 60%? You always try to become number one. If Pakistan is lagging behind or Sri Lanka is lagging behind or any country is lagging behind on any one aspect, we should not give example. We should give example where we are lagging in comparison to America. America GDP is $29 trillion. Our GDP is $3 to $4 trillion. China's GDP is more than $14 trillion. Our country is a lower middle class country. It is not yet has become upper middle class. Forget the richer or developed countries. What is talking about 247? Most important thing, everybody is dead in the long run. Nobody has seen tomorrow. Life is uncertain, and Corona has taught us how life is more uncertain. Corona has taught how the climate disaster can cause. When life is uncertain, when I do not know I will survive the next moment, the promise about something to be achieved in 2047 is not easy to deceive the people. Yes, we should have a plan about future. That must be. We also make plan to build a house or to purchase car, everything, or we make plan. That should be plan. But we must talk about the present thing. You do not try to get vote or talking about the 5 trillion or 12 trillion people, but you do not talk the unemployment, poverty, hunger, starvation, inequality. You do not tell how people are deprived a decent life. You do not tell how society is contaminated, polluted. The most important thing, people have grown in the last few years, people have grown selfish. People have made a arrogant, vindictive. People have made to only run after the powerful people. Society is polluted, devastated, contaminated, and a relation is disturbed. When a father is contesting one party, son is contesting from another party, wife is contesting another party. When somebody is dying, his children are contesting. Is it a democracy? That means they want to retain the power within the family. Good people, honest people, we are not able to participate in democracy or democratic process, but we do not tell. If X can become a MP, MLA, why I cannot be? You ask yours also. If people having less qualification, simple they are elected because of money and a criminal background or money power, wealth power, or getting ticket, why we should not feel angry? We also deserve. Democracy, our electoral procedure should be changed in such a way that one interested can be elected. One should have a right to get elected. There should be right to dissent. Government should compare where it is failing. When it is publicizing its achievement, it must simultaneously admit what is failure. Crores of rupees are spent on a politician where they make election campaign, ruling class politician, because the government bears it. Policy, security are not able to provide security to the common masses. They are used to provide security our top politician ministers. That means we are losing, the masses are losing their worth. Power is transferring the poorer section of masses to the richer section of the society. Decisions are formed to favor the rich and powerful. They accumulate a wealth. You take the statistics, anybody has 400 crores, anybody has 20 crores, 30 crores, and they come and advise us a lot. They talk about solving the society, they tell about that we are solving society. I have a question. Yes, if I will be asked to contest, I may also contest. There is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong to gain power, because power enables you to have access to platform, privilege, facilities. It gave a great scope to contribute to the society. But today those who are running after power, once again, everybody is not bad. There are many good politicians, be sure. But generally they are running after power to gain power, to accumulate wealth, to enjoy privilege, to create property from generation to generation. We must revolt this type of system. Nobody should allow to contest election of more than 2 terms. At least nobody should be more than MLA or MP more than 10 years. So that they can give scope to others people. There should be a retirement age like job. Why should we in politics for till the death? Why not a youngster should be allowed to come into politics? Most importantly, government policy should be pro-people, pro-masses, not a pro-industrialist, pro-rich. There should be, remember, if you have a suffered dreaded disease, if you undergo treatment, you may be cured. You may not be get cured. But if you do not undergo treatment, then you will die. When a cricketer is going to stadium playing pitch, if he thinks that he will get out 0, then he cannot score. If he thinks that I can score, then he may score a double century or he may get out 0. Ambition, aspiration is necessary. Many of you have been student. I am suggesting you, do not be associated with any party politics. But you must be associated with the politics. Politics doesn't mean contesting election or supporting any party. You must be imbibed with a genuine sense of political consciousness. Your father, mothers, parents, relations expect a lot from you. You try to be a good citizen of country. You acquire knowledge. You try to achieve something in life. Remember, life does not mean ambition, aspiration does not mean getting on a bigger job. There is a many way of life. Society, remember those who have contributed to society. The school I read, the hospital I go, the road I go, move, all are built on taxpayers' money. The industry are built on our natural resources. So nobody is rich, nobody is educated, nobody is qualified, nobody has achieved anything because he is only entrepreneurship or talent, because others have contribution. When you are aspiring, when achieving something, you must contribute to the society. Job is one aspect, there is various way in society. Society, remember those who have contributed to society. Lata Mangeshkar is only matriculate, but she is respected throughout the country, in the world. So nobody should fail, despair, despondent at any stage of life. He does not know what is in store life. Be ethical in your values. Have independent critical thinking. As a researcher, as a student, you should remember, a researcher should not accept anything simple any Nobel laureate great person has think. You should not blindly accept what I told. You should analyze in your mind whether I have told the right thing or right thing. Similarly, a researcher should not reject anything simple any ordinary person has told. A great thought may occur in very poor people, even low level people. All do not come into public. Your status is linked with the society or a position you hold sometimes, or where you are staying. If you are staying in Delhi, you will have a national coverage. If you are staying in Delhi, you will have a coverage in Odisha. That does mean you are less talented. If you are staying in Delhi, you have a chance to write in the national newspaper. If you are staying in the New York Times, you have a chance to New York Times or Washington Post. If you are staying in Odisha, you have a less chance to write on those papers. That does not mean they are more talented, you are less talented. You must have a faith in your ability. You see who are ruling us, they are not necessarily more the brilliant scholar of the students. What is their qualification? So you have a faith in your ability, talent, you should believe that you can achieve something in life. You also enjoy your life. I am not telling that you sacrifice your life. You enjoy your life, you are contribute to your family, your spouse. Simultaneously you contribute to the society. While enjoying your life, do not contribute to negatively to society. I have seen some getting IS jobs, getting law marriage, and after 1 year they are getting divorce and remarrying and celebrating. What they are contributing to society? They are contributing to society negatively. Yes, when one is IS, she or he is the most brilliant scholar, no doubt. But you are contributing to the society in a negative way. So you must think that whether you are contributing to society in a positive or negative way, whether a society will emulate your life or not. But you must enjoy your life. You do not know what will happen after your death. You do not know from where you have come. You should enjoy your family life. You should have a good life with your family members. It should be. You should visit various countries, whatever. Not, you enjoy your life. But simultaneously think others vulnerable section of society. Think, because money is so important. Unless you have money, if you come from a Harvard University, nobody will give you a test to you. Money is not the end of life, but money is an important part of life. You should have also money. Don't listen to others. If you do not have money, neither your wife nor husband will give you a test. If you do not have money, your father, mother, if you fail to give medicine to your father, but they will not give you a test. So you would need money, but your money as a legal way, ethical way. But society has changed. Today people are acquiring power, money, wealth by illegal, unethical way. That is why good people are pushed to downward. And my message to you, you cast your vote in accordingly, and create an environment, positive environment in society, create an environment of power to criticize, discuss the good and bads of ruling classes. There should be a good harmony, social relation should be improved. Unless society is corrupted, perverted, even you have wealth, you are not happy. You think today if your children are going to school, is not return in time, you will have a pure psychosis. You will have anxiety. Today everybody at younger age, everybody is fearing about a dreaded disease which in past people are thinking after 70. So when society is contaminated, environment is polluted, food is poison, when there is a theft, vulgarity, then unless it is society change, even we have a health, a powerful position, we cannot lead a happy life. I hope you must cast your vote in such a way democracy will flourish. Government will adopt pro-people policy. Opposition will be strengthened. There will be a strong break and strong driver. With this, I conclude my speech. Thank you all giving me a chance to speak.